long-range air missile. Won't they just frame this as a Cold War type weapons build-up that Australia, the US and the UK are engaged in? Are you prepared for more economic trade sanctions from China in response to this? Are you seeking a meeting with President Xi to explain what this is all about?
Well, that engagement has already commenced with China, as it has with many countries in the region, including our Quad partners in Japan and India. I spoke to Narendra Modi and Yoshisuga last night. Of course, I said I spoke to Prime Minister Ardern. I'll be having further calls today as we talk through these issues and that engagement with China. And there is an open invitation for President Xi and I to discuss these and many other matters, and that has always been there. Australia remains open to discuss these and all issues that are important to the Indo-Pacific. I believe and I hope we would both share the same objective of a peaceful Indo-Pacific where the sovereignty and independence of nations is understood and respected, and that enables their own citizens to flourish. And that's what we all want. It is not an uncommon thing for countries to take decisions in their own strategic interests and to build up their defence capabilities. China makes the same decisions, as does other countries within our region. So I don't think that should be seen as necessarily extraordinary or in the terms that you suggested. And in any response that was along the lines that you suggested, I couldn't see as that corresponding with what Australia has done.
Prime Minister, this you have to pay in terms of compensation to the Naval Group. What's the dollar figure in compensation, if you can give that for us? Have you spoken to President Macron yet? And if so, what was his reaction? And then the other thing I wanted to ask you in relation to, if you look at NATO, for example, Article 5, collective defence. It requires every member to come to the other member's defensive attack. We don't have that, despite all of the commitments in ANZUS and AUKUS now, lots of dollars going in. Is it time for that sort of Article 5 commitment from the US, UK and us?
We're very pleased with the arrangements we have with the United States and our many other partners in the region. And no, we are not pursuing those types of arrangements. The ANZUS Alliance and many other partnerships and agreements we have, we believe suit our security interests and have served us very well. And AUKUS takes that to a whole new level. And so we're very pleased with where that has brought us to. In relation to President Macron, he and I had a very lengthy dinner engagement and discussion back at the end of June. Not long after I had been with President Biden and Prime Minister Johnson in Carbis Bay. He had been there also, and so we were able to discuss the strategic situation in the Indo-Pacific at great length and what Australia's capability needs were. And I was able to set out very clearly that there were very real issues about whether a conventional submarine capability would be able to address those going forward. And so I was very clear. We have always acted, and as I was instructed the Secretary of Defence, to operate in total good faith in our dealings with Naval. There was never any certainty that what has been a long and painstaking process, that it would result in where we are now and to have that capability. Indeed, if we were unable to access this technology and to have a fleet of nuclear-powered submarines, then the attack class submarine is the best conventional submarine that we would be able to utilise. And we remain of that view. If you're looking for a conventional submarine, if that's what your need is, the attack class is a great submarine, and the Naval Group is a great organisation to deliver such a submarine. And the French government gave enormous support to that initiative, and I'm very appreciative to President Macron for the many discussions that he and I have had over this project, and as indeed my predecessor had, about these issues. So, of course, they're disappointed. We have been able to directly communicate, I have, that decision to President Macron, and that was followed up, that communication, with a telephone discussion between the Ministers of Defence and Ministers of Foreign Affairs and their counterparts last night. Of course they're disappointed, but I want to be clear, this in no way reflects in any way, shape or form on the attack class submarine, the Naval Group, and the commitment of the French government, and indeed President Macron personally, to this project. They have been good partners. This is about our strategic interest, our strategic capability requirements and a changed strategic environment, and we've had to take that decision.